get a lot of questions in the comments about my tools, where I got them, that sort of thing. I thought this would be a great time to do a video about my model making tools. They all live in this cart right here, inspired by Adam Savage's cart, and I'll leave a link to that video below. So let's take a look at my model making tools.
My name is Eric Strebel. I'm an industrial designer. Welcome to my channel about product design and making. I hope that you like, enjoy, and become a subscriber. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, and then you hit the bell again, so you get the little parentheses around it. That way you'll be notified every time I have a new video. Don't forget to check out the design and making merch just below the video on the shelf. T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, leggings, and phone cases.
So when you're building models, I think it's really good to have a great space to work. I have a big 36-inch by 48-inch work table with drawers below it and stuff, and this is where I do most of my model making. And if I have to cut, I'm using these two different cutting boards, the smaller one right here, and then this big 24 by 36-inch Arteza unit right here, linked to that below. But having a good surface to work on and a place to work is essential. Good lights help too. Probably don't use this a lot for cutting cardboard, but it's a rotary cutter. It's made by Arteza. It's great for fabric actually. I'll probably use it on some lighter weight cardboard or cardstock or a lightweight Bristol, particularly if I was doing like just sweeping cuts or something more organic. I don't own one of those Olfa cutters that a lot of people seem to like. I have one of these, which is basically a little utility knife, and you can swap out the blades. And you push the little button right here, and it can come out. So I just swap them out. I have a whole bunch of these things, and they're pretty easy to put in. I always can get a brand new blade in there very quickly and easily. Works really well. In terms of x-acto blades, you've seen my video about the custom x-acto blade. So this is my standard everyday one, and the reason I like this one is because it has the twist on the end, allows you to remove the blade super easy and put in a new one. So I like the ones that twist on the end. And this is also a twist on the end one. I usually keep this at my desk upstairs. I don't use this every day in my shop. The ones that I hate the most are these that twist here in the front. They don't seem to ever stay tight, and they roll around. They have a round handle, so they'll just roll off your desk. Versus the other ones are odd shaped, or this one even has a thing on the back to keep it from rolling. So I like that the best, so I can always find it. I use a scalpel occasionally for specialty kind of cuts because of the different blade. These blades, you can get a bunch of different kinds, and I have lots of different ones that I use depending upon what it is that I'm cutting. But these are kind of a specialty tool. And occasionally you'll see me use something like this little micro chisel. It's basically a dental tool, but it has a little chisel tip on the front. I don't use it a lot for cardboard cutting, mainly for plastics and that sort of thing. Now for blades, I buy the x-acto blades in a pack of 100. I like the blue steel ones. They're hardened, and they last a little bit longer, so I like these. The scalpel blades, they have different numbers and different sizes. I buy them in little packs of 20. I don't use a lot of them. And they have different shapes depending upon what kind of cutting that you're doing. That's probably the most common one, are these number 20s. And you can buy all this stuff on eBay. 22, a little bit different shape depending upon the cut that you're making. Surgeons have all specialty ones for whatever they're doing. For my utility knife, I just buy a big pack of these from the Home Depot. You can slide your finger here at the bottom, and it dispenses one blade at a time. I usually keep a raw blade like this just sitting on my workspace for whatever it is that I'm doing. Now on the back, you'll notice it has a little indicator, and this will actually show you how many blades you have in your pack and how many you have left. So currently I have somewhere between 25 and 50, and you can move this thing up and down and refill them. It also has a thing at the top where you can put the old blades away when you're done using them, like that. And the old ones go in there, and you can dispose of them when they're all done. Now for X-acto blades, when I'm done, I stick them into a piece of foam. I have a piece of 1/2 inch foam like this, and I stick them all in here, and that way the tips are not exposed, and the sanitation engineer will not be harmed, hopefully, when I do throw these away, although generally I tend to metal recycle them. I'll bring them to the scrapyard and they get recycled that way. Also, for cutting circles, I have a circle cutting tool. It's made by Fiskars. This has a little plunger that goes up and down, and this allows you to place the center point of your circle and then rotate around that. And the reason I like this tool so much is that it doesn't leave a mark on the inside of your part or on your part, because there's nothing to do that. So if you use the compass with a blade on it, which a lot of people do, I don't like that because it leaves a center point of the circle, and I prefer this. It has a little dial on it and allows me to change the blade distance, and it can go up to an 8-inch circle, and it's fully adjustable to whatever size circle that it is that I want. Alright, on to rulers. So, in my everyday, you'll see me cut with this ruler. This is a Westcott stainless steel ruler. The thing that I like about it is that I've been able to remove the cork on the back. Now, by removing the cork on the back, it helps me eliminate blade wobble, and it lets me get my ruler right down onto the material so I can see exactly where it is that I'm cutting. The one drawback on this is that the digits, or the measuring thing, do not go to the very end. So in theory, what I should do here is I should cut this down, or I should sand it down right to where the lines are. So you have to watch out on the ruler that you're using and make sure that you're measuring from the actual 0 mark and not the edge of the ruler, because you can get messed up this way. This Shinwa right angle ruler, and you see me use this all the time, and everybody asks about this all the time. It's made by Shinwa. It's Japanese. I bought it on eBay from a Japanese seller. I have no idea if you can get these things locally or whatever. Probably not, but I got mine on eBay. Incredibly handy tool. I have a bigger one. It's a complete piece of shit. It's aluminum, but it does allow me to do things at a longer right angle. I also have one of these speed squares that I use for thicker material. It's not really ideal for cardboard, as the lip is much too thick here for a piece of cardboard, and really doesn't work well. This is much better suited for like wood or thicker material, something like that. When I need to measure something precision, whether it's cardboard or something else, I'll use one of these tools. So this is a little Starrett meter. I don't really use this one to measure stuff so much as I use it to measure distances. It's in standard units, and I can't stand standard units. I think fractions are stupid. Millionths, you guys are insane. Why would anybody use this? The dumbest fucking thing ever. Everything should just be metric. So I don't have anything super high tech. I use this Mitutoyo. It does switch between metric and standard, and it shows me decimal points to a tenth. I don't really need the precision to go beyond a tenth of an inch. Even if I'm measuring a production part or whatever, a tenth of an inch is pretty good. It's digital, so I don't actually have to do anything, figure anything out. It just changes. This is perfect for what I need. Don't really need any more precision as an industrial designer than this. You may, depending upon what you're doing, but this works fine for me. As a bonus, in the ruler category, I think a good protractor is something that's very handy to have. All bonus. Also, I have this little engineering ruler. So the great thing about this is it's small and tiny, and the scales do go, the numbers go to the very edge. It allows you to stick it into something and then read the numbers here so you can read depth. So really fantastic. But I don't use it a lot. I don't have a pocket to, on my shirt to stick it in, so I don't use it that much. It kind of just sits in my tool cart back here. You all know I hate this thing, hot glue. In certain instances, it's okay. You just need it. It dries quick. You know, something together. But for anything nice, it's not something I use. I'll use like a white PVA glue right out of the bottle like this, or I'll use one of these squeeze bottles with a lure lock, blunt nose tip, needle. Link below on those. I sell them on eBay. They're incredibly handy, not just for white glue, but for lots of other things like inks and colorants and solvents, things like that. Occasionally, I will use some super glue. I just use the local cheap stuff. I don't use it a lot. I don't really like super glue very much. I will use some kicker with it sometimes. Half the times it doesn't work. Occasionally on cardboard, you will have to glue up something a little bit more. I might use a Gorilla Glue or E6000. Contact cement also works well. Big white glue fan, because white glue gives me great strength. So for scissors, I don't use scissors a lot except to rough cut stuff. I do have like a pair of sort of utility scissors. I'm not sure who makes these. They're just for general purpose cutting, probably like a kitchen shear type thing, stainless steel. They're kind of crappy, but I cut anything, metal, plastic, wood, cardboard with these. For very fine detail stuff, I have a pair of hair cutting shears. These are pretty precision tools. They work really great for little detail stuff. For general purpose stuff, I love these Eastern shears. So they're Chinese kitchen or cooking shears. The thing about these you'll notice compared to a regular Western shear is that the blade, or the handle, is actually bigger than the blade. This gives you a tremendous amount of leverage. Versus a Western shear, you don't have that same kind of leverage or control. You can't even fit all your fingers in here. And the blades tend to be super long, and I don't find them good for shop use at all. I think that these Eastern or Chinese Oriental shears much, much more convenient, much better, much stronger. I can fit my whole hand in there, so I get really good control, really good grip. They come in 3 sizes. I buy these at the local Asian mart, and they work fantastic for what it is that I need. All right, let's talk a little bit about marking tools. Generally, I use a pencil when I'm dealing with cardboard. Any old regular pencil will do. This one happens to have my son's name on it, so I'm partial to this, getting down to the bottom. I think a good eraser, a white eraser, is good to have. I try not to erase. It leaves marks either way, but eraser is a handy thing to have. I'll use like a Sharpie fine point, and I'll have a ballpoint pen occasionally. They don't bleed. And they'll give you a nice line quality as well, blue or black. I prefer black. Some other specialty tools I think that are great for model making are a set of tweezers. These are great for placing little items inside of your model. This is a reverse pair of tweezers if I need to spread something out or something. I hold that in place the opposite kind of way. And then I have a pair of these clamps. Hemostats, I'm not exactly sure. So, whatever paraphernalia you prefer, these are often very handy. Now, the number one question I get asked is about these weights. And you see these weights in my videos all the time. They didn't start out as weights. I use them as weights and sort of placeholders, and they're great for making things at right angles. So these were originally made for a project a long time ago where I needed to build a custom glass blown thing, and these were forms that we pressed into the side of the glass. We just had them milled out of a piece of steel, so they have a fair amount of weight. They're very unique looking. They're actually pretty easy to grip here at the top. They have 90-degree right angles on here. You could use like a machinist block, like a 1, 2, 3 block or something like that. You see them, they have the holes in them. I have these. Alright, tapes come in pretty handy. You see me use it all the time to tape things together to hold things temporarily while glue sets. Use a lot of this white artist tape or black 3M tape. These happen to be the same color as the material, like a black cardboard or something like that, or a white foam core, black foam core. The thing I use the most as a temporary tape is like the blue painter's tape. It has a low tack, comes off. It's not meant to stick forever. You may still need to stick it onto your shirt. Some specialty tapes, you can get stuff like this 3M tape. This is 1/4 inch. You can get lots of little fine ones as well, more for doing graphics, things like that. But sometimes something that's already cut down to the right size, you just need a little bit of tape. This works fantastic. Some VHB double-sided sticky tape. VHB, for those of you guys who don't know, Scotch brand 3M here. Very high bond is what VHB stands for. Double-sided sticky tape, also handy for cardboard and basic paper. If you really need to, some like invisible tape. I tend to not use it, and occasionally maybe some blue tack comes in handy as well for temporary holding pieces together. Sometimes you need to clamp shit together. Pony clamps work really well for that. They have big ones. I have little tiny ones as well. Even little plastic ones. These have little swivel ends on the end so they can adjust to whatever it is that you're making. I'll also use some of these adjustable DeWalt clamps. They work pretty good. They have a little trigger so you can just easily squeeze them together and then release that way. The bigger ones works the same way. Super handy. Don't use a big one like this for cardboard model making a lot, but sometimes you need stuff to clamp a few sheets together or place it underneath a sheet of glass, get some weight on it. The Secret Sketchbook was done that way to laminate a bigger area together. Also for clamping things, I like to use these binder clips. They come in super handy. They come in a bunch of different sizes as well, and these are really great for just gluing a couple pieces of cardboard together. They have great clamping power. Another thing works really well are these little wooden clothespins. These are fantastic. They don't have as much binding power. Sometimes you just need to hold stuff in place. They work really good too. All right. So one of the most important tools is something that you probably never see me wear or not very often. And if you do, it's going to be more recent. It's got to the age where I need a pair of these. So many of you probably have been wearing these for a long, long time. I've been super lucky in my life. I'm blessed with pretty good eyes and don't need to wear these, not even every day, just to see stuff up very, very close. Little tiny numbers, things that don't have a lot of contrast. These you can buy at any, at pretty much any store. These are pretty much the lowest, whatever you want, magnification you can possibly get, and they work fine for me. If you do need to wear glasses, though, make sure you get your eyes checked and get the correct prescription for whatever your eye issue is. These also are good to have, just as safety glasses. I just need them occasionally, but essential tool for model making and seeing what it is that you're actually doing.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can do that by clicking on the icon in the bottom right of the video or below the video. Give it a thumbs up and follow the channel there as well. You want to know about upcoming design content and projects that I'm working on? Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and my favorite Google+, links below. Also, don't forget to check out all the design and making gear below. Rock on! Click here to check out some of the other design and making videos that I have that you might enjoy.